Hello, students. Due to recording difficulty, Mr. Slayton has had to overdub his own voice in this. So please realize that whatever you hear isn't going to necessarily match what's on the screen. And please enjoy what you see. You should have your notebook at this point in time. And this is what you're going to do. Take notes. So in the upper left-hand corner, write geography. In the upper right-hand corner, you're going to write... Well, I guess I'm a little ahead of myself. Ooh, Ray! Look at me speaking. And then in the upper right-hand corner, write transportation. And then, yep, you guessed it. In the lower left-hand corner, we're going to write economy. American that. American that. Bling, bling. Yeah. At least I'm not drinking lots of water this time. And society. What kinds of people are living in these places? Where do they hail from? You shall know what we're going to speak about. And we're going to do this for the North first. So now I'm putting on something luxurious to hold your visual attention throughout the duration of this. You'll see, whoa, look at that handsome devil. So appropriate and proper for what we're doing. So on geography in the upper left-hand corner, you're going to write down dun 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 mountains, and then you're going to write down rocky soil. Remember, ladies and gentlemen, we have rocky soil there. We have mountains. That, of course, is the what mountain chain to the east coast? It's the Appalachian Mountains. You guessed it again. And here we go. And remember what that's going to force us to do to make money up north. So next we have fast-moving rivers. Yeah. That is a stylish hat you have on, Mr. Slayton, might I add, in a Houston Dynamo. And of course, raw materials. Now what you have to think about, why is this going to be important? Especially as we build into the Civil War. I just liked how I opened my mouth and let out that whatever sound that was. So iron ore is definitely going to be able to make steel. Right? So we'll need that for building railroads and also for building a war machine to fight the South. And of course coal to heat our homes and keep them warm. Let's try and guess what Mr. Slayton's saying now. Go, go, go. Ah, transportation. We have the national road that goes from east to west. We also have the steamboat. Remember Robert Fulton. Remember how this kind of changes things. We're now going to be able to go upstream. And we have the Erie Canal. That was scary, wasn't it? Remember, canals are man-made rivers used to transport items, okay, and people. And oftentimes there would be someone along the side of the river that had it connected to horses, and they would drag it. And then, of course, lots of railroads. Woo, woo, woo! That was beautiful. See how I fixed my hair? That must have been important. Ooh! And now we put that hat back on again. So railroads, also important, because it's going to help move things from east to west. Right? Remember connecting north to west a lot. And then we have economy. Remember, this is how we're going to make money. Oh boy. And that's, of course, an industrial factory where they're making items, right? And we've got steam-powered machines, right? They're cooking up the steam. All the steam pushes the machines and makes the gears turn. Makes things really pretty. Yes. I must have been thinking about tacos. skilled and unskilled laborers. And where are most of those people coming from? You guessed it. The immigrants. And remember, it's dangerous to work in there. It's really dangerous. Whoa! Oh no! Oh, Billy got his foot caught in the machine today at work. Okay. That was beautiful. That was a beautiful display of the negative impact of working in a factory. And society, what kind of people live up north? Well, you have a lot of people start living up north. The population swells at more than 17.5 million, right? And remember that a lot of first-generation immigrants are going to live in large towns first, and then they are going to move further inland. And we still even have this trend today with immigration. Tacos. 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 La la la. I want to go to Pizza Hut. They don't sell tacos at Pizza Hut. And of course, we've already talked about immigration. And African Americans are going to live up north, but they are not going to be equal to their white counterparts. So in the back of your northern notes, on the back sheet of that paper, you're going to write the question and the answers. Right? So write this down. So you're probably going to want to press pause. What features of the North encourage the establishment of factories? List at least 5 or put at least 5. Then, according to our lesson, what features of the North point to a probable win in the war? Remember, we're talking about the Civil War that's going to be coming up. So what could possibly happen to point to the North winning? Because they are going to win the Civil War. If you did not know that. So here we go south. Set up your notebooks and get ready to go. Oh yeah! Yeehaw! Getting in touch with my southern roots. Yeehaw! So we got the south. And you need to, on your papers, do the same thing again. In the top left-hand corner, write geography. In the top right-hand corner, write transportation. In the lower left-hand corner, write economy. In the right-hand corner, put society. So, in the geography part, we're going to put this down. Flat, fertile soil, right, or soil for planting and farming. So you got to have good dirt to grow things in. It's an agrarian society. You have to have broad, wide rivers so you can take those things to market. And then, of course, long, hot summers, which there would be a long growing season. Woo! It's hot down south. Woo-hoo-hoo. Mercy me. And then, of course, I already said long growing season. But there it is again, because, well, I messed up the first time I said it. Those overalls look rather flattering on me, might I add. All right, transportation. How do they get around down south? They got steamboats used to move goods and people, right? So we talked about Robert Fulton being able to finally go upstream and how that helps us economically and moving people. And then, of course, we got the big old Mississippi River that dumps out down in New Orleans. And it's one of the most important rivers. And remember, this is going to provide for a lot of people to move further west in the south so they can farm and get their stuff on boats and take it down to New Orleans to export overseas. And then, of course, there's few interconnected railroads. The south is not going to have as well-connected railroads as up north does. But all the same, they do have it. Whoa! Look at that, a hat switch. Never saw that one coming, did you? Woo, we got money flying in the air. That's my tax refund. There it goes. And we've got an agrarian or an agriculture-based society. That's just a fancy word for farming. We see people in the portrait there. They're picking cotton, so it's your plantation picture that you see there. You do have a lot of people with small farms, which was probably more the norm than this large plantation that you see before you. Because this large plantation picture that you see before you would be people who are really wealthy. And then, of course, there's me smelling cotton. Miss Semino let me borrow that, by the way. But that's raw cotton, and you should have gotten some of that last year. And so we've got Southern society. It's a very class-based society. Some people would even argue that today. So they live, the extremely wealthy will live in large mansions and plantations in the South. And they pretty much, they serve as their own city. So they're going to grow their own food. They're going to grow their own cotton to make their own clothes. So they really don't rely on anything much outside of their towns or their plantations. So keep that in mind when we talk about dependence on certain items. And of course, you have free African Americans that work as laborers, but there's going to be a reliance of slave labor. Now, do you remember what invention caused there to be much more people to, or cause a greater demand for slavery? That's right, Eli Whitney's the cotton gin, and there was me holding up a bag. It looked like Sugar Smacks, but those were cotton seeds. Remember that Jenny pulls the seeds out of the cotton and allows them to make a lot more cotton? Oh, what? Oh, wow. So, why is the South so well suited for large-scale farming? You're going to put 4 reasons, and then to the Southerners. Why was cotton so important? Why were slaves so important to the economy? So you're going to write that down too on the back of your notes. Now if you look right here, you'll see that that is a railroad map. What I want you to notice, and it might be a little hard to tell, is how well connected New England is to the West. See, there's me with my hands over New England, and there's out west. That was considered west in our during this period of time in our country. Okay, so you can see us connecting with New York, Ohio, Indiana, Illinois. And if you look down south, there's fewer railroads. So that lets us know that a lot of that tariff or revenue money was going to infrastructure projects that were not helping Southerners. And remember, that is something that's going to anger the South, is that they feel like they're unfairly taxed. Now, say you just missed everything. This is where you pause the video and make sure that you have the same notes down that I do. Okay, so this is what you should have for North, so double check yourself. And then in a second, we're going to look at the South. And bam. So press pause and make sure that you have the same thing. Oh, hopefully you already pressed pause. All right.